B.A.Showoff, the Dance Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Alexandra. And whether you're a dance coach, dance parent, or a dancer yourself, this is the show for you. Today, we're going to be speaking with the Andrew Mulet.
Welcome, Andrew. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Of course, we're happy to have you. So, Andrew, before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you're involved in dance?
Yeah, so I'm a dancer and choreographer, born and raised here in Miami. My journey has kind of taken me on a lot of different paths. I left to New York after high school and went to college at Pace University, and since then I've recently moved to LA, so I've kind of been exploring all the major cities to see what kind of like lands as what's inspiring to where I'm at the moment. And yeah, I mean, I've done a lot in the commercial world, mostly working with a few different artists, and kind of film and television is like my main focus. And then also recently getting more involved with the dance team industry as well, which has been exciting and definitely new for me. I'm heavily focused on my creative outlet as well. So like choreography is definitely a big passion of mine, but I'm trying to maintain that like healthy balance between being a creative person and also performing myself, because I'm still very passionate about that. So yeah,
and you're young, so you can still do it.
Yeah, while my body still supports me, I'm trying to take advantage of that for sure.
That doesn't last forever.
Oh
so
no, yeah,
you gotta enjoy it.
Definitely.
When you were young, when did you decide I want to dance?
Oh gosh, pretty early on, honestly. There wasn't really any dancers in my family. I kind of got the dance bug out of nowhere. I remember my mom got married to my stepfather when I was around like 8 years old, and I was always kind of a pretty shy kid, but for whatever reason at their wedding, I lost that shyness and had like a burst of confidence and was like taking over the dance floor. And then shortly after that, my mom came across a dance studio here in Miami and signed me up for classes, and then it kind of was just like full force from there. I think I had like a natural I want to say a natural skill set for like acclimating. Like I kind of picked up on styles and like choreography pretty quickly. Even as a younger kid, I kind of was dancing with like the older generation at the time. For whatever reason, like, I don't know, I guess I had great coordination as a child. So it just came naturally. And then I think like I quickly fell in love with it. And to be honest, I never saw myself doing anything else. There was a small period of time where I was like playing soccer as well, and I was like, okay, it's going to be soccer or dance. And then I reached a point where I had to choose between the two, and it was always just a direct path towards dance for me.
And you did the Miami Heat when you were young, didn't you?
I did, yes. My studio owner at the time was like a former coach for the Junior Jam, which was like the kids dance team for the Miami Heat. And then that also led me to the Marlins Minnows, they were called. They also had like a junior team for the Marlins, which was cool. So yeah, I did a lot pretty quick. Yeah, it was
at a young age. That's fun to do.
Just started in that industry dance really young.
Definitely. I think I was lucky because I was exposed to a lot of things. Like one of my coaches also introduced me to a dance agency out here. So I started doing castings when I was like 10 years old. And yeah, I don't even know how it happened. It just kind of catapulted me into the industry somehow. Yeah.
And then did you always imagine that you were going to continue dance and go to college for dance? Was that something that was in the back of your head?
Yeah, I always knew. I was never quite sure if I was going to land in New York or LA. So I knew I wanted to go to university in one of those cities and then immediately try out the other. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't necessarily know a lot about Pace going into it. It was kind of a backup school, to be quite honest. And when I went to my audition, funny enough, my mom was like, I don't know, I have a funny feeling about this. And I was like, yeah, I like it. Like, it's cool. And then when I started to receive my acceptance letters, between scholarships and everything else, that's just kind of what aligned. And I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And looking back, I could not imagine myself of going anywhere else. So yeah, I think it all happened how it was meant to.
How was Pace? Like what the program and the college experience there?
I mean, it's a commercial program, so it's definitely very versatile, and that's very me. I think that's what I didn't realize at the time. A lot of college programs are conservatory based, so heavy on like ballet, modern, contemporary. Those are passions of mine, but like I said, I'm more dipped into the commercial world, so I also love like hip hop and jazz and theater dance, and that was really beneficial for me looking back now, because it just exposed me to all the different areas of the industry that I could tap into. And I think it just set me up for success as far as like what I'm actually passionate about, and gave me a lot of exposure to also choreographers and connections that I now have that I've been able to yeah, continue with into my career, which has been really, really great.
Yeah. It's funny that you say hip hop because in our episode with Nicole,
Yeah.
Nicole dropped that you were a hip hop dancer.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, my first studio was like primarily hip hop based, which I honestly credit for where a lot of my style comes from. Like most of my foundation is from that. And it wasn't until I was like 14 that I started doing competitive dance, and that's what kind of made me venture out into like ballet and contemporary and all of the more technically foundational genres, which, yeah, I feel like this happens for a lot of boys in dance, but I was just kind of forced to catch up because I started a little bit later, and it's become a big part of what I do even in my own like creative style. I like to like fuse a lot of my like hip hop and contemporary background. So yeah, started off with mostly just hip hop and then eventually ventured from there.
And at Pace, did they give you flexibility to be able to work with other people and do other things? Because I know some college programs are very strict and they don't let them.
Yeah,
but Pace is more open, right?
They're pretty open, yeah. I mean, being in New York, it was obviously much easier to be exposed to working professionals. I also signed with an agency, I think it was my sophomore year of college. So that was helpful. I didn't get to do a lot because most of my time was consumed by Pace and everything we had going on there, but they were pretty open depending on the opportunity and how far it took you from school and off the path of graduating, because that could tend to happen as well. Obviously, we're all very eager to get into the professional world and start working, but it was important to me to get my degree as well. And it's actually really benefited me because I've been able to teach at Pace since I've graduated as an alumni, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without my degree. So
what degree did you actually get from?
I got a BFA in commercial dance.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of friends of mine also did minors and stuff. I have no idea how they manage with all the time. But yeah, my focus has always been dance. So
do they have commercial, BFA commercial, and then other path that you could take?
It's all commercial dance, but then there's pockets, so you could have a focus. So my focus was in choreography and performance, and then they also had pedagogies, which is focused in teaching. But yeah, it's all encompassed into that commercial dance.
And at what point did you decide that you wanted to go the commercial dance route?
I don't know if it was a conscious decision, to be honest. I mean, I knew that I had passion for hip hop, obviously, and contemporary and more commercialized styles. But I think once I started to learn about what I could do with that, it started to like inch me towards that pocket of the industry. My school, Pace, was also kind of heavily focused on like the Broadway scene as well. And it's something that I hope to dabble in eventually, but it's not a huge priority of mine, but that is encompassed in the commercial world as well. So I don't know. I think honestly getting to Pace is when I started to learn like where else I could go. I've always had my eye on LA as well, and it's a big dream of mine to tour with an artist. I still have not checked that off the list yet. I've gotten to work with quite a few, but yeah, I just knew that that was more enticing to me, and that's just kind of where I've like started to head. I think most dancers like to say, like, I just kind of want to do it all. And I think we can, but it's really helped me to have a focus and to lead in one direction and then be open to what comes my way from there.
Yeah. And how did you get involved in the dance team world?
Yeah.
Talking about doing it all.
Totally. Yeah, it's not something that I really saw for myself, to be honest. But I remember when I was in high school, like, the coudettes were always, like, famous, kind of, you know. Like, I was always a big fan of the industry, but I never saw myself in it. I honestly don't know if I could have ever done it, to be quite honest.
You absolutely could.
I think
could have done anything, Andrew.
I mean, we'll say that for now, but yeah, I think it really became a part of my life when my sister obviously became a cadet, and even before that, she was on the dance team at Southwood Middle School.
And for the viewers who don't know, who's your sister?
My sister is Nicole Diaz. She was here on your podcast. And yeah, over the past few years, it definitely has become a bigger part of my life. I was able to assist Chase Hudson with the Tennessee dance team a few years back, and that was really eye-opening to see just like how rigorous and intense the process is. And I think that's the part that always scared me, to be quite honest, because I know how important it is. But now that I've gotten a chance to work with Lords and also see more of like how my sister's process is and the experiences she's had from it, it's it's proven to me that I'm capable of it, which has been really exciting, but it's also like sparked a new interest and passion because it's just a whole another beast, as you both know.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that choreography is one of your passions, but I feel like industry choreography, company choreography, those kind of choreographies are so different from dance team.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more, I guess, freedom. I want to say there's less
Structure.
There's less structure and less rules to follow. But I also, and that is what scared me about the dance team world. But I also think there's a lot of opportunity within that, which has been really cool to play with. Yeah, just like the formational aspect of everything and the visual aspect of it all is like really, yeah, it's really fun for my brain to play with, but it's definitely a challenge.
It's a challenge. It's a
Yeah.
challenge to have still have your artistic feel into the routine, but then follow the structure that dance team has, like the formations and the formation changes and the levels. And
Absolutely.
But I mean, it's definitely something that you've been successful doing because you've done a great job so far.
Thank you.
And you've just started.
Yeah.
So, and I know that Nicole has been there and helped you and guided you, which is nice too, because you're able to get what you've learned in the choreography world and with what she knows and put it together. So it's unique that you have that ability.
Oh, totally. I think I honestly could not do it with Nicole by my side. It's been really helpful to have her in the space because I definitely trust my instinct, but she also has been a part of the world for much longer than me. So it's helpful to have that extra set of eyes to just know what we'll read and what might not. And also, I could be as creative as I like, but there's the aspect of like getting the like unified team cleanliness as well. So it's keeping like so many things in mind, not just like what fuels me or what inspires me, but what's going to resonate with the audience and the judges. And yeah.
Right. Well, I think one of the great things about you as a choreographer is that you have that artistry that we like. In bringing you in, we've been able to bring the artistry that you have and then provide you with the structure that dance team has. And right now, dance team's in that transition of going into that more artistic style, but still having the unified base behind it.
Totally.
So it's great being able to bring you in and not have that cookie cutter dance that, you know, we know we'll do well, but like, how are we going to stand out?
Yeah.
And so that's been a great privilege of having you be able to come in and having, you know, choreographers like you come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think like working with your team last year, like it was really cool for me to set the piece and then be able to leave and see how it evolved from there. And I think we've been able to build like more trust within each other because I don't want to give anything away about the upcoming season, but I feel so much more excitement about what we've created from our first draft because I also know what will become of it. And that's a big part of it as well. I rarely get to set a piece and then trust what's going to happen with it from there. I kind of just leave and see what happens, I guess. But I know that it's in good hands. And also, it is a collaborative effort. And it's been really nice to be able to embrace that and trust that it'll be taken care of and still maintain like the value and the integrity of what it started as, which is really nice.
It's cool because when we were talking about bringing you in, like when she was like, you know, should I have him come in and talking about having you choreograph, that excitement of you're from Miami, you know, she trained at Focal Point where you trained at Focal Point, that, you know, that whole connection was so nice that it almost feels like we're family.
Yeah.
Nicole is like my baby.
Yeah.
Now you're working with her. She's my daughter. So that whole connection has been really nice. And I think that the kids at Lourdes, they connect with you because you're from Miami.
Yeah,
and it makes it that
absolutely.
much easier that, you know, you're close by, you're here.
Oh, absolutely. And I do think, like you said earlier, like the dance team industry is becoming more open-minded to some of that artistic aspect. And we're seeing like just a new wave, a new trend, I guess you could say, happening, which is more exciting because I think the opportunities are growing of what you can really do, how far you can really push the buttons. So yeah, it's made it like really exciting to see like where we can go. And already what we've done this year is worlds different than what we did last year. So I'm really excited for everyone to see this team.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. It's going to be so iconic.
Yeah.
And again, it's nice because you're from Miami, and so you coming here and being in Miami, it's much easier to connect with them. Like a lot of the choreographers we bring in, they just come and then we don't get to really see them.
Yeah.
Like they're off and, you know, they've got other things. So it's nice because you know your home is Miami.
No, 100%.
No, and it's great. And honestly, being able to bring you back and knowing that you have like, you know, you enjoy coming to Miami, not just for us, but like because you get to see your family, because
Yeah.
you get to, you know, come back to your roots. That's great. And I think that that's a big, big part of why we get along so well too, because we have like that, you know, similarity, and, you know, this is our home, and, you know, it's so important.
Oh,
like she
absolutely.
said, that it's, you know, Miami, and being able to bring you back multiple times is so good.
Oh yeah, it's really helpful, and it's been yeah, it's been really really beneficial to have that opportunity, because I can create my first draft, and then I know that it doesn't have to be perfect quite yet, because I'll have space and time to leave and come back to it with a fresh set of eyes. And yeah, I rarely get that opportunity. It's usually like one sitting of a rehearsal, and then I just leave and hope for the best from there. So yeah, it's been really fun to be able to like spend time and really like focus on every little detail and make it the best that it can be.
So what is your home base now? Is it New York or LA?
Now my home base is LA. I moved there about a year ago, so it's still pretty fresh. And honestly, ever since I moved, I've been everywhere else. So yeah, I'm always on the go, which is a lot to manage, but it's been really nice so far. I think it's where I'm meant to be at the moment, at least.
Yeah.
And do you train and take classes over there?
Yeah, I'm still very much auditioning, training, taking classes. I'm actually working on this show right now in New York, which is ironic because I feel like ever since I moved to the West Coast, I'm being called back over here, which just tends to happen. But it's been really cool. I'm working with Hugh Jackman at Radio City. He's doing a concert series essentially once a month, and the team is really amazing. He's really amazing, and it's been quite the dream job, and also a great opportunity to just come back to New York as well. So
Oh, cool. Tell us a little bit about some of the jobs that you've had.
yeah, I feel like I've been pretty privileged so far. I've gotten to work with like Shakira, Chappell Roan, Dove Cameron. I mentioned Hugh Jackman. I did a few movies and TV shows as well, like the new Mean Girls rendition. And yeah, all aligned with like a lot of the things that I saw for myself. I mentioned earlier, a big dream of mine is to tour with an artist, and I feel that at the tip of my fingers. We're gonna get there soon enough. But it's really funny because I feel like the more opportunities that come my way, the more I learn how important it is, not so much the job, but the people. And even like with things like this, like with working with Lords and stuff, it's way more fulfilling to feel a connection with the people I'm sharing a space with than to have like the cool big job that everyone sees on TV. Those are always nice and important. There's a lot of skill sets I've learned from that for sure, but I think I remember the more intimate spaces way more. Yeah.
Yeah, and we love having you.
Yeah.
And it's always so much fun. My girls love having
Oh,
you.
it is. Yeah.
It's always nice to have a job and be appreciated.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think that's one thing with dance team is that they're kids, but they still, they're little adults.
Yeah.
And they appreciate when their choreographers come in and what you do for them, and they know that you're a big deal. Like, wow, you're working with us, like, and you're
Yeah.
this really big deal somewhere else. So I think that they really do appreciate it, and then you feel it, which makes you
Oh, yeah.
want to do it more.
Yeah, and I think as we all know, like dance teaches you so much discipline, like beyond what dance has to offer, just as a human being, and especially like in the dance team world, I think there's so much to learn from like being a part of a team and it not being all about you, and just like pulling your weight and showing up for people outside of yourself. Like I think dance team dancers are some of the strongest and smartest people to walk this earth, and whether they continue on with dance or not, there's like so much that they gain from it. So I'm in big support, and I wish I had that opportunity when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like in dance team, you're absolutely right. You also learn to not focus on just yourself. You have to focus on other people, and you focus on, if I do something, how am I going to solve the problems of the person next to me? Because at the end of the day, if I succeed, you succeed.
Yeah.
So it really is it's become an entirely different style of dance, and like a whole different pathway. Because now it's, do I go into industry dance? Do I want to dance for a company? Or do I want to go dance team route? Like, it's just become an entirely different pathway. So it's really interesting to see how this industry has grown as a whole.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun being able to merge the worlds a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
And see how they succeed together.
Yeah, and I feel like it's becoming a little more mainstream. Like some of my friends who have no connection to this world are like so deeply invested. I know every year that UDA comes around, like we're all logging on if we can't be there in person. Even last year, I had the privilege of going to the college nationals for the first time, and that was beyond intense. It was the Super Bowl of dance for sure.
For
It was.
for sure.
It was crazy.
And you grew up in the competition world,
Yeah.
but there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it. I mean, you work so hard for this one moment, and I think there's something so special about that. You can really feel that in the air in the room, and yeah, it's just really cool to see how it all plays out.
And the talent.
The talent is, unmatched. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids that come out of dance team these days in college are just, I don't know how they're like, I don't understand.
yeah, I mean, even with Nicole, she's going to Ohio State. She's getting ready to start that season, and I ask her all the time, like, do you think you can do this? Like, are you sure? Like, they're doing crazy things. I know she can, and she's the most capable, but it's crazy to picture her being a part of such a prestigious team. And I've always known that she was capable, but now that it's actually happening and it's here, it's
Wow.
quite surreal.
Yeah. Well, she's a super hard worker. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's no doubt that she'll be able to do whatever she puts her mind to. And you
Oh.
know that she will be up all night making sure that she's ready for the practice the next day.
Absolutely. She's the most hard worker I know. And I think in the past few years, I've seen a really big growth in her talent for sure, but also in her passion. Like, I think her work ethic has really skyrocketed, and it's shown in what has come her way. So I'm excited for her. I think it's going to be such a cool opportunity.
And that's definitely his work ethic that a lot of people don't understand. They think, oh, she's good, that's why. It's the hard work. It's all the time. It's the things that she gives up in order to be able to get to what she wants. Like, she knows this is my goal, and I can't do this and this because I want that.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody is not willing to do that.
Yeah, I think it's also like definitely a privilege to know from such a young age like what you want for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think I had that quality as well, which is why I mentioned earlier that there was never anything else I saw myself doing, and I think that helped me stay on the right path. And I mean, my mom was always a big proponent of like, your body is only able to do so much for so long, like maybe have a backup plan. And I was open-minded to that, but I knew that there was no backup plan necessary. And I've learned also that there's so many different things you can do with dance, like beyond being a performer, you can become a coach, a choreographer. Like, I'm even very interested in like the creative aspect behind the scenes of like production and stuff. So yeah, it's been really cool to be very clear about what I want for myself, and then also be open-minded to explore like what that could lead to beyond just being a performer.
Right. And speaking of which, you started your own production company.
I did. It's something that's still very much like in the works, but I've started to like plant the seeds because I am very passionate about choreographing, but I think also just creative directing is a big thing for me. And as I've like been able to explore creating dance visuals and just what dance looks like on camera, it's like opened up my eyes to like what else I can do in the space, and also becoming more open-minded to like being a collaborator, not having full control over what's being created has also been interesting, because I think with having something like a production company, it'll be really nice. My hope is to like create the space for other creatives to come in and fulfill their vision, but not necessarily have it be mine, if that makes sense.
What's the name of the production company?
It's called Camp right now. That's the working title. But yeah, it's Camp, C-A-M-P, created by Andrew Mulet Productions. And yeah, like I said, I'm very much just planting the seeds so that I can continue to grow with it in the future. But I knew that it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, so it was just time to start the first steps.
So you've worked with a lot of dancers in your time. With the most successful dancers what have been the qualities about them that have stood out, that have made you feel like those are the ones that's why they've succeeded?
That's a good question, because I think oftentimes we'll see people and sometimes we'll question like why we don't have those opportunities when we have the same skill sets or the same experience. And what I've come to learn is who you are as a human is so much more important than your skill set. Obviously, talent plays a big part, but the way that you're able to connect with people and be a positive energy in the space, to continue bringing it back to like the dance team industry, like when we're in a creative process, it makes all the difference what kind of energy the kids bring into the room. For me especially, and I like to say that at the top of rehearsal, like I don't have all the answers, and I also don't know everyone's bodies. So using your voice and being a positive contributor to the space has like been more vital to anything than how talented you are. And I think I've seen that in my professional career a lot. Like, the type of impact you can make on someone's experience usually is what will bring you back and what will make them want to work with you again, versus how well you execute what's being asked of you. So I think the human aspect has been a big part of it. It's something that I continue to try to work on, because I am kind of a little bit more on the shy, like mellow, toned down energy. Not always like the biggest ball of energy in the room, but I don't think it's about that necessarily. I think it's just about having this open-minded aura to you, and showing your willingness to try anything, really. I think that really sets people apart.
So what advice do you give to dancers who are starting out and maybe going to college, or, you know, want to go to New York? What advice do you have for them, you know, to be successful?
I think the first thing I would say is to trust that you're going to always end up where you're meant to be. And like I said, just enter any space with an open mind, because I think a lot of us have an idea of what our life will look like or should look like, and we always find that it will take us off the beaten path. And if you can stay open-minded to that and trust that that's happening for a reason, that's going to carry you where you're meant to be, more so than being so rigid about what you think you need to do to get to where you want to be. Keeping an open mind, I think, is way more beneficial than having such a rigid structure and idea for yourself, because more times than not, you're gonna go off the path, and it's for a reason, to teach you something. So if you're open to what life brings you, then you're always going to be successful, I think.
Yeah, I think that a big problem that a lot of dancers have is that we're comparing ourselves to the person next to us. Mm-hmm. And we see somebody succeeding and going down a specific path, and we want to model exactly what they're doing, and we forget to stay authentic and true to ourselves, and understanding that our path might look different, and we might end up more successful than the person we were looking up to. We might end up just as successful. We might go a completely different route, totally. But your path is your path, and you just need to stay authentic to what you want. I
agree. And I'm a big culprit of this too, where sometimes I'll get lost in like all of these things that I really want for myself, that I forget what's right in front of me. And I've learned that as well. Like, it's funny enough, even living on the West Coast, like, I always find myself ironically connecting to people from New York or from Miami, and it's reminding me that, like, I already have the connections that I need. I don't need to look elsewhere or aim for these like big ideas of people when I have creative people all around me that I have connections with already. And I think as you get older, you start to learn that, like, you need to look to your own community versus trying to insert yourself in other places that you think you need to be a part of to get what you want. Because especially as you grow with your generation, like, a lot of talented people in my generation are stepping into positions of power. And I think that's where a lot of those opportunities that I desire for myself will come, versus trying to implement myself in places that I have no connection to. Yeah.
Let me ask you, so dancers who are looking at, I want to go to college, and others are saying, I want to go into the professional world. You went to college, and you've also been very involved in the professional world. What advice do you give them? Because that's something that a lot of the kids are trying to deal with, and it's a hard decision, and they, you don't want to make the wrong one, but it's so hard to know what's the right and wrong.
It is, and I think it's much tougher now, because back when I was applying for college, it was just college, or you could maybe move to LA or New York and just start your professional career. But now there's a lot of training programs, like bridging you from high school to your professional life as well, that aren't quite academic based, but are basically conservatory programs. So there's a lot more opportunities to choose from. And I think at the end of the day, as long as, like I said earlier, you have a focus of where you want to start, I think just run with that. For me, it was really important to go to college, and I will say some people really thrive off of just going straight from high school to their professional career. But for me, college, while it was very vital to my dance education, I think even more so, having that time to develop as a human and explore my own identity and who I was even more beneficial. And I don't think you can get that from just diving into your adult life, because as we all know, being adult is very hard.
Yes. It's no fun.
It's no fun, yeah. And yeah, I mean, especially coming from a studio competitive world or from a dance team, and having that sort of structure laid out for you to just like dive right into creating your own schedule, especially as an artist, it's so inconsistent. I think joining some sort of a program to kind of like ease your way through that transition is really helpful. So I guess my advice would be to just lean into like what feels authentic to you and what maybe you think will provide the most opportunity for you to explore.
Yeah, I think that a lot of dancers are scared that going to college, they're going to waste 4 years. They're going to lose out on, certain opportunities. You can't dance forever. So, it's very limited how many years you can dance.
Yeah.
But they don't look at the big picture of while you go to college and you're training in dance, the connections that you're making, people that you're meeting.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of benefits from that. It's not like if you're not dancing and you're not going to be, in the professional world. But, you've got to look at the outcome there where when you go on into the professional world immediately, it's a struggle from day one.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy to get that first job and then the next job after that.
Yeah. And you can see the difference sometimes in an audition room between someone who gave themselves that time to develop themselves, even just as an adult, but also to understand like audition etiquette, understanding what it means to have a headshot and a resume, like certain aspects that you don't know just being a competitive dancer or growing up training in dance. Like, I think it builds upon what you have to offer and your professionalism, and that's what I got from it the most for sure.
Yeah, and there's different college programs. So like you went to a commercial one, which is great.
Yeah.
But there's other college programs that might fit their need, and it's just looking into it.
Yeah, you definitely have to do your research, and I definitely spread myself out as much as possible. Like I knew I wanted to be in New York or LA, but I applied to places all over the country just because, you just never know, and you have to go like see it for yourself, do your research, explore what feels right. Like I said, my mom had a funny feeling about pace. I didn't even. And looking back at that, I'm really grateful that she felt connected because I don't know if I was giving it the opportunity or the attention that it needed. And it's exactly where I was always meant to be. And I don't think any other program would have offered me what I needed for my career. So it's just being open-minded and not being stuck on what you think you should do or what looks the shiniest and the prettiest, but what actually feels connected and aligned with who you are and what you want for yourself.
And performance-wise, what do you think was your favorite performance or show that you've done?
Definitely, I got to do the VMAs with Chappell Roan, and that was just very special. She was like fresh into her career and was really like popping off. So it felt like a really iconic moment to be a part of, and she's someone that I respect a lot. That was also just a really cool opportunity to get to work with the choreographer that I got to work with. Her name is Megan Lawson. She's really big in the LA community. So there was just a lot of things about it that felt very special. It was one of those that I definitely cried like a lot of tears of joy after. It just felt very surreal, and it was something that I felt like my younger self really dreamt of, and I could feel that like youthful energy within me. Like it felt very much like a dream come true. So I would definitely say that was a big one for me.
I remember watching that on TV, and I remember the girls texting me and were like, "Oh my God, it's Andrew!"
Yeah,
like yes, it is.
Yeah, it was cool too because, and this is something that's been happening a lot too, where it's like I'm primarily focused on dance, but that performance we danced with swords and we got to do like combat training, which is out of my wheelhouse, but it was just like another skill set that I got to learn that I never saw for myself. So it's funny how dance will bring other things your way, and that was just like an all-around great experience for sure. And
you told me earlier that you started in drama. You were in middle school drama.
Yeah.
So what made you go from drama to dance?
Yeah.
Or what made you even go to drama?
I don't know, actually. I don't know what it was. I've always been passionate about performing, and I went to Southwood Middle School for drama, so I was in the acting program there, and I definitely loved it. I was actually going to go to Reef for drama as well, and then I ended up in the summer deciding to do virtual school to focus more on dance. But there was something about the performative aspect. I think I had so much dance in my life that I was like just wanting to try something new. And to be honest, it's something that I still consider to this day, like if I should tap back into my acting self. But I don't know, it was just something about being on stage that always interests me.
Do musical theater, I mean, that acting, that drama is going to definitely come in.
Yeah.
But I mean, the two come in hand. I mean, no doubt that drama and dance together, it's a great combo to have. So it's awesome that you were able to do that at a young age. But then that means that you started really dancing a little bit older if you were really focused on drama. And that's so cool too, because everybody has this thing that you have to start when you're so young and 3 years old and put your kid in dance. But if you're talented, you could definitely do it when you're a little bit older.
Oh yeah, I think passion and work ethic speaks so much louder than experience, to be honest. And I work with dancers all the time that come from different backgrounds. And it doesn't matter if you've been dancing for 10 years or 2 years. It's really matters like what kind of energy and mindset you bring into the space, like I said earlier. So of course, experience and foundation and time is important for your training and for your physical capability, but your heart is like really what matters, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could choose anybody to dance, like what is your dream to backup dance?
Oh gosh.
Who is it?
That's a tough one. I mean, right now I would say like Miley Cyrus or Billie Eilish. Those are like two people stylistically that I resonate with, but also like I grew up with Miley Cyrus, so it would just feel like an iconic thing to be a part of. She rarely uses dancers too, so it just feels like a big dream. But I always say when I get this question, like I said earlier, like this space that's cultivated is so much more important to me. So as I'm learning, like there's so many huge names out there that would be so cool to say that I've danced with, but it's really more important to me that the experience and the people that I'm involved with in the space feel more aligned and more connected. Because even working with Hugh Jackman, that's not someone I ever saw myself working with. He's very Broadway based. He comes from the Broadway community, so a lot of the content that we're doing is from his Broadway repertoire. And it's been the best experience because of the person that he is and the people that his team are. And that's also been like a dream come true and not something that I would have seen myself going after necessarily. It kind of just fell into my lap, and I feel so grateful for that because I don't know if I would have sought it out necessarily. But it is a prime example of that exact thing, just being involved with people who really care for what they do and also are just beautiful souls.
Yeah, he is amazing. I mean, I love watching him. I don't know him personally, but
she knows Hugh.
Yeah,
we're BFFs. Let me ask you: is there a choreographer that you would love to work with or like collaborate with that you haven't been able to, or that you?
Ryan Heffington is one for sure. He's contemporary based, I would say, but he was like Sia's choreographer for a big part of her career, and he's someone creatively that I definitely look up to. And then another one is, his name is Matty Peacock. He mostly does creative direction right now, but he works with Billie Eilish directly. So those are two people that are on my radar that I'm trying to weasel my way in with if I can. I would just really love to learn from them, to be honest. Yeah, I really admire their like creative outlook for sure.
And since you've already done a lot like in New York and in LA and you've been going back and forth, do you still find that you have to audition a lot for things, or are things just like that falling on your lap because of somebody you know?
I definitely am auditioning a lot, but I will say a lot of the opportunities I actually come across are connection based, and people that I've been able to work with that maybe recommend me to the team or bring me on. So that's why I think it's really important to also just be invested and indulged in the community, whether it's like going to showcases or just being in class. Like that has been the thing that has really brought more opportunities my way than auditions. It's always nice to go to an audition and receive the job, but I find again more of the like impact that you can make on a person and the connection that you can have with them will come back to you later in life when you least expect it.
Yeah, because it's a lot of times who you know is very important.
Yeah.
And there's times that they don't want to do auditions. They just want to handpick who's going to be working with them.
Yeah.
So knowing different people and working with different people, having a good connection with them, and that work ethic that we've been talking about, that's so important. That's going to get you a lot of jobs. So
definitely. And especially in the commercial world for sure, they like to say time is money, so everything is jam-packed and pretty quick moving, so it's all built off of trust, which is why most of the time they want to hire people that they know they can trust. And that's why I think it's important what kind of energy you bring into any space that you're a part of, because just being someone that feel safe will I think make more of an impact on who you're working with.
Well, and that's a big reason why people need to, especially dancers, need to take advantage of the networking and understanding not to burn bridges. Always be professional in a work environment, because you never know when there's going to be an opportunity that presents itself that somebody just needs to pick you and just they'll just say, I want to bring you on. It's not always going to be an audition base. It's not always going to be just who's the most talented. It's going to be who's going to be the easiest to work with.
Yeah, I agree. And also like social media has been such a big part of my career, and of this generation for sure. It's basically my portfolio to showcase what I can do. I said a lot recently that I'm not really good at posting like my normal life and who I am as a human. But my platform definitely serves me in my career because it shows all facets of me as a dancer and as a creative person. So if you don't know me, you can very easily get to know me as a creative, at least on my profile. And that has like served me so much for sure.
It's so funny because I actually had that conversation with somebody the other day of like my entire social media has turned into like dance and dance team, and it's become like my whole personality.
Yeah, mine is like that too. I mean, maybe a birthday post for somebody there, but everything else is exactly that. It's the dance world. And I think it's important. Like when I picked Sammy to choreograph for me, I went into her social media and I looked at, and this was 5-6 years ago. I mean, it's grown so much since then, but I looked into her social media and I wanted to see what has she done, you know, what her life was like, because it's somebody's going to be working with my kids. So I want to make sure it's somebody that I respect and somebody that is not going to, you know, come in and be a big hot mess and, you know, my kids aren't going to connect with. So it's important that your social media reflects who you are. And, and I try to put that into the kids' heads all the time. Like, be careful what you put there. Because it talks about you.
Definitely. And like we talked about my production company, Camp Creative, earlier. That account that I have on Instagram was specifically for my choreography. And that's how I built a lot of my connections with studios across the nation. That was like a direct source for them to see who I am as a choreographer, and I built a lot of connections that way. And then once I feel like I established enough foundation within that and within my voice, that's when I decided to make that shift and use that account for my production company, because I know it's become a place for people who are following my creative voice. So I'm just evolving off of that. But yeah, I think, again, social media has been like the easiest way for me to show what I'm capable of, for sure.
Yeah, no, and it's great for people to be able to find you and for them to see, okay, is this somebody that I would want to work with? So, and now that you have your production company, it's a great, you know, resource too for people. You hear that out there? So you gotta go. And so what are your project ideas that you have so far with that?
I mean, right now I'm starting to explore just what my creative voice would look like in the professional world. I've gotten to work with a lot of studios and now the dance team industry, but like I said, I'm very passionate and interested in what dance looks like on TV and film, whether it's like a campaign. I did a mock campaign recently on that account, or choreographing for an artist. Those are different skill sets that I haven't been able to explore as much. So that's kind of like where I'm leaning, just to see kind of what my vision would be on those platforms and in those environments.
And consulting, do you do consulting work also? Do you sit on a project and be like a consultant and give your feedback?
I mean, that's my hope for sure. I haven't like dabbled in that as much, but I definitely hope to be brought onto different teams and start to explore, how I can contribute to someone else's vision as well. As far as a creative outlet, like, it's always been me and my voice. So I'm wanting to lean into becoming more of a collaborator as well, which is, I think, what this production company is offering me as well.
That's nice. You have a nice vision, because, some people in the dance world, they think dance. That's all I'm going to be able to do is dance. And there's so much that you can do under that umbrella of dance that, it's nice because you're explored all these different options and you're open-minded and you understand that, that dance is just a little piece of it. There's so much that goes with it.
Oh, definitely.
And how do you feel that each route of dance that you've taken has helped with the other route? So, for example, that dance team has helped you with, dancing choreography has helped you with your, production side. And, how do you think that everything's kind of tied in and helped you?
I think I would say there's different skill sets, obviously, that I've picked up from each. For example, like, a dance team has really taught me, I want to say, the beauty and effectiveness of simplicity. Obviously, it's not simple, but when something is a little more unified or visual-based versus having the actual movement be so intricate and creative, it can almost be more impactful. And I think, like, the eye can resonate with that more than, like, the most complex piece of choreography. So there's certain tools that I think I've acquired from each pocket that have, like, been brought into each other aspect of what I've been exploring, for sure. I think I would say that.
Well, and it's nice watching, like, your style evolve too, and how you're able to kind of adapt in each. because even watching you on social media, like seeing you like taking classes and like, you know, teaching classes and the different combos that you teach, it's interesting watching how your style has evolved and how it's still evolving.
Yeah.
But it still like has a uniqueness that is like, that's Andrew.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so it's really interesting to watch that all unfold.
And I think that's honestly pretty clear with what we've created with Lords this year versus last year. Last year felt very I want to say clean cut. It felt very very much like a specific side of myself. This feels a little bit more playful this year.
Yeah, it's like it was like a safer version,
Yeah.
and now it's like
Yeah.
Well, it was a good way to start, to get your feet
Right.
wet and be successful at it,
Yeah.
because it was a beautiful piece and they did great.
Yeah.
And you were able to understand, okay, this is what dance team is and this is
Yeah.
what it takes. And so now
Well,
you're
and
able to play with it.
We talked about it too, because we had talked about using this song last year. And there was just something in me that was like, we're not ready for it. We're not ready for it. And we ended up choosing the song that we did, which I loved. That's one of my favorite songs. And he loved it too. And we talked about how had we used this song that we're using this year for last year, like the entire, like, I don't know if the piece would have read the same way that it's reading now, just because he was getting comfortable with my kids were getting comfortable with him. And it was also like, you know, the first time you were choreographing for like by yourself with a high school team. So it was just there was a lot at stake. And I think that we were all very nervous about the process. But now it was like, we're trusting everything. We're just giving it a go.
We definitely needed to build that trust. And it's been very helpful to get to know the girls as well. Obviously, the team has shifted slightly with some of the graduating seniors, but for the most part, I'm working with the same kids, which is helpful because I know them on more of a personal basis. I know their skill set. I know what they bring to the table. So it's been easier to play off of that for sure.
And watching how it evolves too.
And they'll grow with you, which is nice.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, you're going to have kids who are with you for 2-3 years, and they will continue to grow and develop as dancers, and they're going to be with you while they do that. So
yeah, definitely. I think also, like, I noticed in our process last year, I had a lot of ideas and it was a little more scattered and then putting the pieces together, and that happened for sure. That's just how I work. But this year, I think there was a lot more opportunity to I guess go start to finish and go with like a more natural flow within the piece, because I think that's a big part of the dance team industry, is like how something can seamlessly go from one thought to the next. So that I've definitely found better this year, I will say. And I think a lot of that goes hand in hand with just like building trust with the team. Last year, I think it was easy to see like certain standouts or certain skill sets that people had over others. So it was about working with those. This year, I think it's more of an even playing field across the board with this team, I would say.
Yeah, and I one of the things I really loved about the process that you had with them, especially this year, was like, and you talked about it a little bit earlier in the podcast, but like coming in and saying, you know, if I get stuck, if I need problem solving, by all means, like if you have an answer, tell me.
Yeah.
So it like made the kids feel very important, and it made them feel like they had a voice in the practice too. And it wasn't choreographer and dancer.
Yeah.
It was, you know, we're all trying to make this piece happen together.
Yeah.
So it gave them like a creative outlet. Even like with our turns, that Danny just like started turning, and he was like, that looks like that's the combo. That looks like that's the one.
That's really cool. Let's do that.
That's the one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that definitely is another thing I think in the professional world that sets people apart, is we all can recognize when a problem arises, but are you going to bring that up, or are you going to bring up a solution to the problem and help the process flow easier?
Yeah.
That just makes all the difference.
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's give some fun questions to you.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your favorite music to, you know, relax to kind of dance, start getting warmed up, and what do you listen to?
I mean, I think it definitely ebbs and flows. I'm not someone that is too stuck on a genre of music for sure, but I think in more recent years, I've started to, at least in a creative space, enjoy something with a lot of instrumentation. So I find like a lot of house music that has like a lot of like drums, and you can hear the instruments at the forefront of the music. That's become very inspiring for me. But in my car, I'm definitely like a pop music, screaming at the top of my lungs kind of person. Yeah, I don't know. I think it changes all the time.
Because I've seen a lot of combos that you've done. It'll be like to like old music.
Yeah,
And like fun pop music. And,
yeah,
you know.
definitely. Like as a choreographer, recently, more classical or like just older music is way more inspiring to me. I think music also evolves, and there's like new trends happening in the music industry. But I think like what we did last year and also what we did this year, like things that feel a little bit more timeless are more fun for me to create too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's kind of like a vision I have of you. Like when I hear a song that's like an old song or like a classic, I'm like, oh my God, Andrew would do a great combo.
Yeah.
Andrew will do great with everything, but definitely the classic side is, you know, I feel like it's easy to like find a song and be like, Andrew.
Yeah.
Will he like it? Yes.
I love that. Okay.
So you've done a lot in the performing arts, like you did drama and dance. If you wouldn't have done drama and dance, what do you think you would be doing?
Well, there was a small period of time that I thought I was going to be an entertainment lawyer. And then I realized how much school that would take, and I was like, no, I don't think that's cut out for me. But I honestly think I would still do something creative, but maybe more on the production side of like film. Like I'm really passionate about film editing as well. I took a few classes in high school. So I think maybe something in that world. I honestly am not too educated on what opportunities exist there, but I know something within production and entertainment still for sure.
Yeah.
I was ready for you to say soccer.
No, I mean,
Soccer player.
maybe. I've got to go. I've got to get back into training. Yeah, that's left my body. But
David Beckham, we've got somebody.
yeah.
No, we were in practice and Nicole was trying to get into his computer and his password was like soccer something.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, soccer? Like, they were so confused.
Yeah, everyone's always taken aback. But yeah, that was a big passion. It really was soccer or dance for a while for me. But I mean, I stopped playing when I was like 13. So
Nicole also, right? She told me that also.
Her father, my stepfather, used to be our coach. So actually, when Nicole was born is when he had to stop coaching. And I was like, well, if he's not going to be my coach, I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny because I mean, you know, both of you did soccer and then chose dance. You know,
Yeah.
You know, it's in your blood, for real.
Definitely. I don't know where we get it from. Love you, Mom. But I'm really happy that we've been able to share that connection.
And now she's older, so now you get to share it even better. Like, you have a nice
and
connection.
I mean, she has other passions as well. Like she'll be going to Ohio State and exploring like the nursing program, even though she'll be on the dance team. So I don't know where her life will take her, but my hope is that as I step into more positions of power and more of the creative side of the industry, that eventually I can reel her back in. Because she is also like someone, obviously we're blood, but she gets me. She's been working with me since she was like 4 years old. So she's definitely one of the people I trust the most and would hope to bring into my creative spaces.
And you guys work very well together.
Definitely.
Very well. Like there's like a very like clear line of communication between both of you and you guys just get each other.
Yeah.
And there's never like it's not conflicting. It's very much like, you know, you'll do something, she'll be like, well, I don't think that this will work because of this. And you're like, okay, what about this? And it's very collaborative.
Yeah.
Which not everybody knows how to do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Nicole's definitely a people pleaser. Like she wants you to be happy with whatever it is. She wants you to be proud, and you know, you want that. Let me figure out how I can get that for you. She wants to please so badly. So I mean, that's a great person to have on your side and have working with you, because you know, you need that. You need people who, you know, want to do what you need. Yeah,
and we've had few opportunities to dance together, and you can definitely see our similarities, but we're also very different as dancers. And she has a lot of facility that I never had, which is helpful as a creative too, because a lot of times, even with dance team, I'll have to have her try it to know if it's possible, because my body cannot do it. And even then I'm like, is it actually possible, or are you just making it work, you know?
There was like an arch back section that he was trying to do, and she did it like 17 times. She's like, again?
I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I cannot get on the floor and do that. So yeah, it's been helpful for sure.
Yeah, but she's great.
She is. She the other day was in my office practicing all her palm routines for Ohio.
Yeah.
That she had to like learn off a video, and there was like 10 kids in my office just talking and stuff, and she's just in the corner there, like doing it with her big smile and just the song playing, and the kids are all talking, but she was so focused on what she was doing, and she would finish it and she would smile like she was there in the stadium. And you know, I was watching her and I thought, not many kids are like that. Not
Yeah.
many kids are so like focused and so goal oriented and saying, I got to do this
Yeah.
and shut down everything else to get to what they need.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, that's an amazing quality. I mean,
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline. And I think we owe that to our mom for sure. Like, she's always been very supportive and invested in what we're passionate about, but she's also kind of let us take the reins, which has forced us to learn how to be independent for sure, which is such a big thing for sure, especially when it comes to discipline and work ethic.
Yeah, and sacrifice isn't something that a lot of kids understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's very easy for a kid to say, yeah, I really want to be on the Ohio State dance team, but I have to miss, all these parties that my friends are going to. I have to miss, all of these events. I have to not sleep for a couple days.
Yeah.
I can't go shopping because I need to save money to be able to get over there for recruitment. I
can't travel.
There are sacrifices.
Yeah. And not everybody understands that. And for somebody to understand it at such a young age is, that's
and with
impressive.
a smile on her face.
With a smile on her face.
Yeah.
And happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. So another fun question. I think I know the answer, but what do you prefer? Coffee, tea, an energy drink?
I'm definitely a coffee drinker. There was a brief moment in time where I was an energy drink person for sure, but now I can't go one day without a coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my routine. Honestly, I'm not big on eating breakfast. My breakfast is usually my coffee, and that's what gets my day started, so definitely coffee for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
We should have made you when we got here.
Well, I already had one today, so it would have been too much.
My husband makes the best coffee. Every time somebody comes to do a podcast, he's like, coffee? He makes
so excited.
Yeah.
We think he was a barista in a previous life.
That's really amazing.
We're still hopeful that he'll open his own little coffee shop.
He should. That would be iconic.
I know, right?
He loves it.
Yeah.
See, it was the first thing he probably asked you when you got here.
Yes, he did. I was like, I've already had my caffeine for the day, so.
No, it's great.
Well, Andrew, it has been wonderful having you here. We're very, very lucky that you're part of the family and that you've been sucked into this dance team world.
We're never letting you go.
No. I think
Can't keep me away.
Alexandra made a great choice when she, was like, I'm gonna go with Andrew, and
Yeah.
I think it was a wonderful, wonderful choice. And we're excited to see how successful you become with your production company.
Thank you so much.
And anybody needs a good choreographer right there. That's who you can call.
I'm available. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be a part of your world and the family for sure. I definitely feel like we're family now. So yeah, I'm excited for what's to come and for everyone to see what we've created this year.
We'll make sure to put you on the Christmas card.
Oh, yeah.
And to all our Showoffs who are watching today, thank you so much for joining us with Andrew.
And if you like what you heard, make sure to follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to click on our link tree and fill out our Google form.
Bye, Showoffs.
Bye.